Okay, chalo, let's start. So we start with strategic financial management. ठीक है, पेपर 14. So पहले syllabus discuss करते हैं थोड़ा. Okay, see your syllabus can be divided into 4 parts. Okay, 4 or 5 parts बोल सकते हो. ठीक है, जो first part है syllabus में, that relates to investment decisions, or simply you can say that is your capital budgeting. So first part जो सिलेबस का है दैट इज कैपिटल बजटिंग एंड लीजिंग करके चैप्टर है उसमें. ठीक है, दे हैव इंट्रोड्यूस समथिंग न्यू व्हिच इज सिक्योरिटाइजेशन, व्हिच इज अ स्लाइटली थियोरेटिकल टॉपिक. ठीक है, सो वील सी दैट. बट फर्स्ट पार्ट लार्जली जो सेक्शन ए है, ओके, इज योर इन्वेस्टमेंट डिसीजंस. Part B of your syllabus is related to security analysis and portfolio management. So part B has got everything related to stock market, you can say, or capital markets, right from valuation of equity, valuation of bonds, that is fixed income securities. You have topics on mutual funds, you have various portfolio management theories, so on and so forth. So part B पूरा जो है that is on security analysis and portfolio management. जो part C है, okay, that relates to financial risk management. Okay, financial risk management in terms of your derivatives. So part C is entirely on derivatives. Okay, so what are derivatives? Right from definition of derivatives, okay, futures, options, interest rate derivatives, you have swaps, so all kinds of derivative instruments hai. Part D जो है relates to forex. Okay, entire part D is on foreign exchange. So foreign exchange in terms of the currency, okay, how to manage the risk, so on and so forth. And last part, okay, जो D part है, sorry, E part है, that is on digital finance. So this is a slightly new topic that institute has introduced. Okay, so digital finance क्या है? It's a small topic, it's more a theoretical topic. ठीक है, so digital finance क्या है वो देखेंगे. Okay, so this is your more or less, this is your syllabus. Now SFM जो है, ठीक है, from a perspective of your exam, okay, exam के perspective से this is just a क्या बोलते हैं, so you had financial management in intermediate. Okay, financial management in intermediate. SFM is a more advanced version of financial management. ठीक है, so SFM, now thing about SFM is that होता क्या है कि if you look at certain other subjects, okay, other subjects like DT or costing for example, okay, what happens is that intermediate level पे ही जो basics है वो cover हो जाता है, and final you just come and you learn the advanced part. ठीक है, SFM, how is SFM different is that what happens is that if you look at your syllabus, okay, अगर syllabus देखो, there is only one part जिसका basics आपने किया है, which is part A, okay, on capital budgeting. So capital budgeting, okay, whatever basics that you need. So capital budgeting के लिए क्या basics लगता है? You require a certain basic understanding of cost of capital. Okay, cost of capital लगता है, a little bit understanding on, let's say, capital structure, different types of sources of finance, a little understanding on working capital. Okay, all of this is covered at intermediate. Intermediate में आपको chapter भी है FM में, which is capital budgeting. Okay, so capital budgeting basics we cover at intermediate level, and final you have a advanced version of capital budgeting. Okay, for the other parts, अगर आप part B, C, D और E देखते हो, E छोड़ दो for the time being because E is a very small part, theoretical part. But part B, C and D, okay, part B क्या है? Security analysis, portfolio management. Next you have derivatives, and last is forex. Now these 3 topics, इसमें होता क्या है? You don't have the basics at intermediate. So when you come to final, we have to start from basics and go to advanced. So in a span of few lectures, मतलब 1-2 lecture basics में जाता है, and directly you have to come to advanced. Okay, now it is not easy. Okay, why? Because intermediate में जब आप basics करते हो, ठीक है, क्लास में हम we spend a lot of time. Okay, उसका practice भी होता है, फिर आपको एग्जाम के लिए पढ़ना होता है, तो सेल्फ स्टडी भी होता है, और उसका फिर रिवीजन भी होता है नॉर्मली, टिपिकली फॉर एनी इंटरमीडिएट और एनी प्रोफेशनल एग्जाम. Okay, you will have to practice, you will have to revise. So whatever that is generally covered at intermediate level, our basics on that is pretty strong. Okay, but here for most of the part, I would say 60, 70, almost close to 70, 75% of your syllabus, we have to start from basics and go to advanced. Okay, so वो कभी-कभी difficult हो जाता है, because if your basics are not clear, the advanced becomes very difficult. ठीक है? So what I would always suggest is that how do you crack SFM? Because SFM is a topic जहाँ पे अच्छा करोगे तो you can easily get a 70 plus also. There is no problem with getting even 70 plus out of 100. But if you struggle with the concept, if you are not able to understand, okay, especially मैं बताऊंगा topics related to derivatives and forex. Okay, two topics, derivatives and forex. Do not miss a single lecture on derivatives and forex, because every lecture, as I told you, especially initial जो lectures है, basic build होता है, then you go to advanced. So very important that you attend every single lecture for those, of course, all topics तो करना ही है, but ये जो parts है, okay, on derivatives and forex, there is no chance. मतलब you have to attend all lectures, क्योंकि एक क्या मैं बताता हूँ क्या होगा. What will happen is that you miss one lecture, next lecture को आओगे lost हो जाओगे, ठीक है? फिर your entire chapter is gone, because beyond that you are lost. Okay, फिर वापस आपको जाके वीडियोस देखना पड़ेगा, वापस जाके रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा. So instead of doing that, okay, what I suggest is that you attend entirety as much as you can. Okay, it will help you later on, because in class itself, if we clear our concepts, base बहुत strong बनाएंगे, जब self study करोगे, it will become very, very easy. Also, how to get 70 plus in SFM? There is only one secret, and that is practice, practice, and practice. Okay, SFM is all about practice. जितना ज़्यादा practice करोगे, उतना तुम लोग better बनोगे. ठीक है? Because so first step is understanding the concept, understanding the basics. Second is practice. Lot of times मैं बताता हूँ ये भी होता है. For students, concept समझ जाते हैं, okay? अच्छा भी लगता है. They like the subject. What happens is that because you like it, you feel you're good at it, आपको समझ में आ रहा है, उसका enough practice नहीं होता है. And because enough practice नहीं होता है, when you go into the exam, okay, because of a lack of practice, जो marks आपको आना चाहिए for what you know conceptually, वो नहीं आता है. So you end up with a 50, 55, when in reality actually जो आपको knowledge है वो 70 का है, but marks नहीं आता, 50, 50, 55 ही आता है. So what is the difference? Those 20 marks difference is nothing but practice. Okay, and practice का ऐसा है, see, when you go for self study, see, final है ना, बहुत अलग गेम है. In what sense? Intermediate है ना, हंसते खेलते हो जाता है. क्यों? क्योंकि बाकी कुछ नहीं है ना. You don't have office. Normally, intermediate, most students are not going to office. Final is a different ball game. Why? Because सुबह सुबह उठना है, क्लास आना है, ठीक है, नींद में रहते हो सब लोग. उसके बाद ऑफिस for most people, go to office. Sometimes evening lecture also. Okay. Then again next day morning lecture. So point is that what happens is that final में ये manage करना बहुत important है, ठीक है. And why I'm telling you this is because, see, practice के बारे में बात कर रहे थे. जब self study करोगे, you don't have time to practice right. Okay, आप लिखने का टाइम नहीं है आपको जब self study करोगे closer to your exam. So writing जो है in terms of practice will only happen in class and along with class, because once you do the practice along with class itself, okay, जब self study करोगे आपका बहुत टाइम सेव हो जाएगा. Because in self study you don't have necessarily have to write everything, okay, because you have already done the practice, huge amount of practice in class. We don't have to go home self study के वक्त लिखने का जरूरत नहीं है. You can just revise whatever that we have done in class. Okay, so our entire SFM जो study है is going to involve a lot of practice. Okay, so if we spend, let's say, so कैपिटल बजटिंग अगर एक चैप्टर है इंटरमीडिएट में, अगर हमने उस पे लेट्स से 12 या 15 घंटा स्पेंड किया रहेगा, फाइनल ऑन द सेम चैप्टर वी विल स्पेंड 30 आवर्स. ओके, सो लॉट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस. इतना प्रैक्टिस होगा कि एवरी चैप्टर बाय द एंड ऑफ इट यू शुड बी बोर्ड. कि सर बस हो गया, अभी नया चैप्टर स्टार्ट करते हैं. ओके, दैट इज द स्टेज वी हैव टू get to, because that is what is needed, that is the necessary amount of practice, okay, that will help you later on. ठीक है? Okay, chalo. So my first lecture in SFM, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Mihir Desai. By qualification I'm a chartered accountant. Okay, so right now, so I'm founder of Mirozio Capital, which is a market research firm, and we develop algorithms for trading. So basically simple बोल सकते हो कि I am completely in the stock market. Okay, previously I was in the banking sector in Axis Bank, where I have experience in project finance. So various capital expenditure projects, project appraisal related to, let's say, highways related projects, HAMs, जिसको HAM बोलते हैं उसको, hybrid annuity model or power transmission. So I have experience in that kind of a domain also. ठीक है? So that's about me. Let's start. Chalo, we'll start with capital budgeting. Okay, that's going to be our first topic we start with. For now, you require only your notebook. So notebook nikalo. We start with capital budgeting. Okay. Abhi capital budgeting. So capital budgeting is basically we have to take a investment decision. Okay, investment decision matlab kya? We should be able to do a project appraisal. Okay, project appraisal means we should be able to evaluate any given project. Okay, what is the return on that project, whether we should accept that project or not. Okay, so on and so forth. So typically, practically अगर देखोगे capital budgeting you will use everywhere in your life, whether personal life हो, professional life हो, कभी ना कभी ये use होगा ही. Why? Because every decision, okay, that relates to, let's say, two alternatives or a choice, okay, you will have to use capital budgeting. So basic decisions like buy or rent, let's say घर खरीदना है या रेंट पे लेना है, okay, जो गाड़ी लेना है वो पेट्रोल वर्जन लेना है कि ईवी लेना है, okay, all these evaluations, calculations, you will have to use capital budgeting only. Also professionally, if we look at it, okay, professionally कहाँ पे use होता है? See, every company has certain projects, certain capital expenditure that it wants to do. It wants to evaluate whether that particular project is going to give it adequate return or not. Okay, so professionally, be it a manufacturing entity may want to put up a new factory. Okay, that new factory may be in a same kind of product, or it may be a different product also. Okay, so we should be able to analyze the project, what kind of cash flows we can expect from that particular project, and finally whether the project is going to be viable or not. ठीक है? So ये है तुम्हारा chapter on capital budgeting. So let's start with this. Now capital budgeting we had at intermediate level, ठीक है? But I am going to assume कि तुमको कुछ भी याद नहीं है, ठीक है? Because I am sure आधी चीजें तो अपने को याद नहीं रहती. Okay, चलो. So let's start. We'll start with basics. So today's lecture, even I think one more lecture will be about basics only. We'll cover the basics in 2 lectures and then we'll go ahead. ठीक है? चलो. So first, थोड़ा basic discussion करते हैं on the concept of time value of money. Okay. What is time value of money? Time value of money means basically value of money, okay, in the future is going to be less than value of money today. Okay, ये क्यों होता है? Why is value of money today much more than it is in the future? What is the reason for this? Inflation is one reason. Inflation मतलब महंगाई, a rise in prices. So inflation की वजह से होता क्या है? Inflation की वजह से our purchasing power goes down. So let's say if we have 100 rupees today, okay, the purchasing power of that 100 rupees today is going to be more than purchasing power of 100 rupees after 10 years. ठीक है? Same example करो, imagine करो, let's say 100 rupees 20 years ago gave us lot more than what 100 rupees gives us today. So that is basic time value of money. Okay, first reason for having, let's say, time value of money is inflation. अभी assume करो कि inflation zero है. Assume hypothetically inflation is zero. मतलब there is going to be no increase in prices. Still, will you have time value of money? Why? Okay, तो क्या होगा? So forget that. See, your demand supply will affect inflation basically. Okay, I'm saying hypothetically assume inflation is zero. कि demand is equal to supply. Hypothetically, ये कभी होगा नहीं, I agree. But hypothetically imagine करो that inflation is going to be zero. Still, should we attach some time value of money? Why? Because of because of interest rates. अगर inflation zero है, ठीक है, even if you have interest rates, any kind of actual real interest rates, you will still have time value of money. Why? Because if I have 100 rupees today, मैं क्या करूंगा? इसको invest कर दूंगा. Even if interest rate is 2%, I will have more money in the future. So value of 100 rupees today is going to be more than 100 rupees after 5 years. So first reason for time value of money is inflation, of course. Second reason is interest rates. Now practically, inflation or interest rates में linkage है. They are linked, they are interlinked. Okay. In what sense? If inflation is high, interest rates will also be high. If inflation is low, interest rates will also be low. Okay, so there is a linkage, but my point being that both of them are reasons why you have time value of money. चलो, let's hypothetically assume कि दोनों zero है, inflation zero है, interest rate zero है. Still, will time value of money concept apply? Why? Okay, business cycles. There are business cycles. ठीक है, so how will that affect your time value?
So at that time of growth, जो हम लोग के पास पैसा है, ज़्यादा पैसा will be having at peak.
Okay.
The peak से through में जाएंगे तो peak में जो पैसा है वो कम, relatively उसका value कम हो जाएगा.
Okay. ठीक है, fair enough. Anything else? और कुछ? Any other reason? If inflation and interest rates are hypothetically zero, no, still we will have time value of money. You know why? Because of risk factor. Uncertainty, no? Future is uncertain. अभी just COVID हो गया है. You don't know next year क्या होगा. अभी तो cases बढ़ रहे हैं वापस COVID के, वो बात अलग है. ठीक है? But my point being, future is always uncertain. And because of the uncertainty or the risk factor, we want money today than in the future. Okay. So there are three things that affect time value of money. ठीक है? You don't need to write this. I will tell you क्या क्या लिखना है. So first is inflation. दूसरा है interest rate. And third is time value. Third is risk factor. Okay, so these three reasons. Let's do a few basic formulas, okay, related to time value of money. The first is calculation of future value. ओके, फ्यूचर वैल्यू हम कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं? ओके, हाउ डू यू कैलकुलेट फ्यूचर वैल्यू? सो फॉर एनी सम ऑफ मनी, okay, for any, let's say 100 rupees, 1000 rupees, any kind of money today, we should be able to calculate what is the value of this money in the future. at a certain rate of interest and for a certain given number of years. Okay, so there are two factors basically, interest rates and number of years. We should be able to calculate a future value. So formula that we use is this is equal to present value into 1 plus r raised to n. ठीक है, so यहाँ पे future value is your FV is your future value, PV is present value, R is rate of interest. चलो ये लिखना है. So capital budgeting लिखो, write down few basic formulas. Few basic formulas में सबसे पहले लिखो future value. Few basic formulas. First is future value. Formula लिखो. Now from this formula, we should also be able to calculate the present value. Same formula use कर सकते हैं for calculation of present value. So second write down is present value. So you can just change the formula slightly and calculate present value as future value upon 1 plus r raised to n. Okay, अभी ये जो formula है, this we will use for a single sum of money in the future. Okay, अगर single amount है in the future जिसका अपने को present value calculate करना है, then we will use this particular formula. So let's say I tell you you have 5 lakh rupees after 5 years. Okay, उसका प्रेजेंट वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करना है, मतलब आज के तारीख में क्या वैल्यू है वो कैलकुलेट करना है. वी यूज दिस पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मूला. ओके, सो ये ना, दिस वी कैन ऑल्सो राइट एज फ्यूचर वैल्यू इनटू 1 अपॉन 1 प्लस r raised to n. ओके, इट्स द सेम थिंग, बट ये ऐसे भी लिखो, क्यों मैं बताता हूं बाद में. Done? चलो, next concept is a annuity. क्या होता है annuity? Any idea? Annuity is a fixed sum of money for a limited period of time. Okay, so annuity है ना, annuity is a fixed amount. Okay, fixed amount of money received or paid. Either we receive it or we pay for a limited period of time. Okay, limited period के लिए we are going to receive or we are going to pay. So practical example of annuity क्या है? Pension. Okay, so government employees after retirement get a pension. Pension is an example of a annuity. Okay, why? Because for a certain limited year you are going to get a certain fixed sum of money. Okay, also other examples of annuity क्या है? Insurance policies. टिपिकल इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी कैसा होता है कि आज 1 लाख इन्वेस्ट करो फॉर 10 years, मतलब एवरी ईयर यू इन्वेस्ट 10 लाख, सॉरी यू इन्वेस्ट 1 लाख. ओके, एवरी ईयर फॉर 10 years. ठीक है, फिर 15th year onwards you will receive 2 lakhs every year for 25 years. ठीक है, एंड एंड ऑफ 25 years आपको जो आपका इनिशियल 10 लाख इन्वेस्ट किया था वो भी वापस मिल जाएगा. टिपिकली ऐसा होता है इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी. ओके, यू गो टू LIC, यू गो टू HDFC, you have these kind of policies. Now this is also example of a annuity. Why? Because fixed sum of money is going to be received or paid for a limited number of years. Okay, so पहले इसका मीनिंग लिखो. What is the annuity? So write down, yeah, it is a fixed amount of money received or paid for a limited number of years. Okay, so ये हो गया annuity. Now how do we calculate present value of annuity? Okay, present value of annuity. So what are we doing? You have a fixed sum of money received or paid, let's say over 10 years. Okay, 1 lakh you are going to receive over 10 years. So every year आपको 1 lakh मिलेगा. Year 1 में you will get 1 lakh, year 2 1 lakh, in year 3 also you will get 1 lakh, so on and so forth. Now what do you want to do? इसका आपको present value calculate करना है. मतलब ये जो future में पैसा मिल रहा है अपने को, we want to calculate the present value of this 10 lakh rupees. कि जो 10 lakhs over 10 years मिलने वाला है, उसका आज के तारीख में value कितना है? Okay. Now there is a direct way of doing it. See, we could have used the previous formula also, but every year के लिए करना पड़ता. Okay, so it would have become very lengthy. So there is an easy way to do it, which is you can calculate this as amount of annuity into PVAF. Okay, where PVAF is what? Present value annuity factor. Okay, PVAF क्या है? Present value annuity factor. अभी PV, what is PVAF? How do you calculate PVAF? See, PVAF जो annuity factor है ना, is the addition of all your discount factors. We have done capital budgeting in intermediate. Okay, हम क्या करते थे? We used to write down a certain discount factor. PVAF is the addition of all those discount factors. Okay, on our calculator it is much more easy to do it. Okay, calculator पे कैसे करोगे? 1 divided by 1 plus r, whatever is the interest rate. Okay, 1 divided by 1 plus r, you press equal to m plus equal to m plus equal to for the number of years that is there, or MRC दबाओगे so you will get what is the PVAF. ठीक है, or some calculators also have GT function. You can directly use the GT function, in which case you just have to do 1 divided by 1 plus r, okay, equal to दबाते जाओ for how many years, whatever, 5 years 6 years जो भी है, and finally GT दबाओ, you will get your PVAF. ठीक है, don't worry if you are not still very clear on how to calculate PVAF, no problems, we will do lot of questions where PVAF is going to be used. So for now at least just make a note in your head that PVAF क्या है? Present value annuity factor. Why I am making you do this is that, see, you have to understand the technical difference, okay, between when we calculate present value of a single amount and when we have to calculate present value of a annuity. Present value of a single amount मतलब एक future value है in a certain year, okay, in year 4, year 5, whatever जो भी दिया है उसका अपने को present value calculate करना है. We have to use the formula we did before this. Okay, annuity वाला formula कभी use करोगे? When you have same amount recurring in nature, okay, for a limited number of years. So let's say 1 lakh you are going to receive or pay for 5 years. Okay, 5 lakhs you are going to pay for 10 years. ये annuity हो गया. Every year ये cash flow आएगा. It's recurring in nature. वो case में we will use this particular formula. Okay, चलो. So done with this also. we go ahead. Next is perpetuity. Now, what is a perpetuity? Perpetuity, okay, a perpetuity is a fixed amount of money, but received or paid for an unlimited period of time. Unlimited period of time matlab forever. Okay, what is the difference? Annuity mein it is for a limited period of time. Perpetuity is forever. Okay, so write down first fixed amount of money. Okay, write the definition: fixed amount of money received or paid for an unlimited period of time. Okay. Next, how do you calculate present value of a perpetuity? So you're going to receive or pay a certain sum, unlimited period of time के लिए. We want to calculate उसका present value. आज के तारीख में what is the value of that money? So it's a very simple formula. जो amount है, amount of the perpetuity divided by your rate of interest. So amount of perpetuity divided by R will give you the present value of perpetuity. Done? Okay. Chalo, we'll go ahead. Okay, and let's start our discussion on capital budgeting. Now, before we go to the various methods for project appraisal, okay, like NPV, IRR, okay, let's first discuss again some basics. Estimation of project cash flows. Now, in this chapter on capital budgeting, okay, we are mostly concerned with cash flows and not accounting profit. Okay, what is more important? Cash flows. Cash flows matlab kya? Actual money going in, coming in and going out. Okay, actual cash flow. Okay, what is the money coming in? What is the money going out? So we need to be able to estimate what are the cash flows for a certain project. Now, cash flows for a typical project will come in 3 stages, okay, which is initial stage, subsequent stage पे आएगा, and you have terminal cash flows. Terminal cash flows मतलब end of the project you will have certain cash flows. Okay, so let's discuss various stages में क्या-क्या cash flows आ सकता है in a typical question on capital budgeting. So first is the initial cash flows. Initial matlab start of project. Start of project, what are the typical cash flows we have? जब प्रोजेक्ट शुरू करते हैं क्या होगा? कैश फ्लोज इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा. ठीक है, सो फर्स्ट थिंग इज इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट. Whatever project will have certain initial investment. Initial investment is what? Is it a cash inflow or a cash outflow? It's a cash outflow. ठीक है, so वो भी लिखेंगे. Initial investment और फिर any other cash flow in year 0, start of the project. Operating cash flows would be subsequent. ठीक है, आई एम टॉकिंग इनिशियल मतलब ईयर 0 में और क्या होगा, हो सकता है So just like you have initial investment, okay, just like initial investment hai, we know that for any project, okay, it's not just capital investment but also working capital investment. Yeah, let's say एक factory बनाना है, okay, the project is to let's say start a new factory, okay, initial investment आपने कर दिया, factory is ready. Can you start selling your product? No. Why? Because first you need to produce. To produce you need what? You require working capital. So we understand basic concept of working capital कि raw material खरीदना पड़ेगा, labor को pay करना पड़ेगा. So you will have inventory consisting of raw material, WIP and finished goods. You will have receivables, okay, debtors create होगा, and finally debtor से पैसा आता है. So that entire period is your working capital requirement. ठीक है? So in year 0 initial cash flow, you have working capital, this will also be a cash outflow. Anything else in year 0 start of the project? और क्या हो सकता है? Initial investment, capital investment would be in initial investment only. What else? बोल जोर से बोल. Loans, okay, we'll take that later. So initially, okay, जो भी तुम्हारा project है ना, we assume it is entirely funded by equity for the time being. ठीक है? So जो initial investment entirely funded by equity. We will do that part where we will also consider what is the debt. Okay, and वो केस में क्या होता है वो बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. ठीक है? But for now, your project is entirely funded by equity. Okay. What else? Anything else? Return of what? I'm saying start of the year क्या होता है? Forget year 1, end of year 1. 0 year 0 मतलब today when you start the project. Initial investment है, ठीक है, working capital है. In some cases you can have a case where existing asset, existing machine बेच रहे हो and you are going to purchase the new asset or new machine. Okay, this typically takes place in replacement decisions. Okay, what are replacement decisions? जहां पे अपने को एक asset को replace करना है with another asset. So you can have sale value of existing asset sale value of existing asset will be a inflow. Okay, sale value of existing asset will be a inflow. You are selling your existing asset, no? So you will receive money. It's a cash inflow. So this will be a cash inflow. Now always remember, whenever you have sale of an asset, जब भी asset बेचेंगे, we have to check for what? You have to check for capital gains tax. Okay, whenever you have a sale of asset in this chapter, we have to check for capital gains tax. Okay, now ये आपने जो old asset बेच दिया, existing asset बेच दिया, ठीक है? We have to check. So we have the sale value. We have to check it with the WDV or the book value. If there is a profit on sale, okay, profit on sale of asset है, तो फिर capital gains tax pay करना पड़ेगा. And if we have to pay tax, it is a outflow. Okay, so next is capital gains tax paid. On sale of investment, or sorry, sale of existing asset. Rather ऐसे लिखो, capital gains tax paid on profit on sale of asset. So अगर प्रॉफिट ऑन सेल होता है, प्रॉफिट ऑन सेल ऑफ एसेट, वी हैव टू पे टैक्स. कन्वर्सली, लेट्स से अगर लॉस होता है, यू हैव अ लॉस ऑन सेल ऑफ एसेट, in that case it's a capital loss. Capital loss can be set off against another capital gain. So if you have a loss on sale of asset, you will have tax saving on sale of asset. Okay, and tax saving will become what? It is a cash inflow. Tax saving, okay, on loss on sale of asset is a cash inflow. Okay, so next is tax saving. Okay, so normally initial cash flows यही होता है. ओके, ठीक है. इसके अलावा इफ यू हैव एनीथिंग, ओके, वी हैव टू कंसिडर दैट एज वेल. नाउ थिंग इज फाइनल, नो. सो आई एम गिविंग यू अ लिस्ट, ओके, बट इट्स नॉट अ, यू कैन नॉट से दैट यही है. ठीक है. व्हाई? बिकॉज एट फाइनल you will be tested. It could be anything else also. What you need to know is that you will have cash flows, okay, either inflow or outflow. ठीक है. So initial cash flows ये हो गया. Now we go to subsequent cash flows. So yeah, because you will save money, no. Point is, if you have a loss on sale of asset, तो फिर क्या होगा? You have a capital loss. ये capital loss you will set off against a capital gain. तो तेरा टैक्स बच गया. मतलब basically because of this loss you have a inflow in terms of tax saving. जो आउटफ्लो बनता वो अभी आउटफ्लो नहीं बनेगा. सो यू हैव अ सेविंग टू दैट एक्सटेंट. इट्स नॉट लाइक यू विल गेट मनी, बट यू आर सेविंग. बेसिकली व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इज यू आर सेविंग एन आउटफ्लो. ओके, जो कैपिटल गेन्स दूसरी जगह पे होता वो आउटफ्लो आप बचा रहे हो. सो इन टू दैट एक्सटेंट इट इज अ इनफ्लो.
But in case of no capital gain in the year zero, so वो केस में कैसा initial year में अपना ही आएगा loss on sale of existing asset as a inflow.
For the existing asset मतलब, see, you will have cases, you will have projects जहां पे existing asset आप बेच रहे हो and you are trying to purchase a new asset. I am trying to buy a new car by selling my old car. तो जो ओल्ड कार मैं बेचूंगा उसका मेरे को पैसा मिलेगा ना. Okay, subsequently, now year zero, okay, जो initial cash flow है, normally it will be outflow because you are making an investment. Subsequently, you will have inflows. Okay, so subsequent cash flows will be your operating cash inflows, or normally from a perspective of a company, we will have to calculate cash flow after tax. Okay, cash flow after tax मतलब जो आपका प्रॉफिट बनता है, अकाउंटिंग प्रॉफिट. ठीक है. वी विल हैव टू एड बैक डेप्रिसिएशन. व्हाई? बिकॉज डेप्रिसिएशन इज अ नॉन कैश एक्सपेंस. डेप्रिसिएशन देयर इज नो कैश आउटफ्लो. दैट्स व्हाई यू कैलकुलेट पैट नॉर्मली, उसमें ऐड करने का डेप्रिसिएशन व्हिच गिव्स अस कैश फ्लो आफ्टर टैक्स. ओके, सो सब्सिक्वेंट कैश फ्लोज is going to be all about calculation of CFAT, which is cash flows after tax. ठीक है. So लिखो calculation of cash flow after tax. CFAT. Okay. Now first case is where you have no interest cost. ठीक है, जब interest cost नहीं है, we do it same way we did in intermediate also. Intermediate में भी हम क्या करते थे? PAT plus depreciation. Okay, so cash flow after tax in this case will be PAT, profit after tax, plus non-cash expense, that is depreciation. And if you are adding non-cash expense, we should reduce non-cash income. Okay, so if in the question you have certain non-cash income, उसको less करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. Second case is where you have interest cost. Okay. अभी जहां पे इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट है, ठीक है, वहां पे हम क्या करेंगे? See, what are we trying to do? We are trying to evaluate the project, okay, and we are trying to evaluate the project irrespective of what is the capital structure. Okay, irrespective of capital structure मतलब we are agnostic. Capital structure कुछ भी हो, what you are trying to evaluate is whether project is viable or not. Therefore, जो project के cash inflows है, we will calculate before payment of interest. Why? Because interest is what? It is a payment for capital. Now doesn't matter whether that capital is equity or it is debt. ठीक है? So we do not consider the capital structure. Therefore, जो project cash flows है, has to be before payment of interest. So ideally, if you are calculating cash flow after tax, you will have to calculate it as EBIT. Okay, that is earnings before interest and tax. उसमें से ही अपने को tax को reduce करना पड़ेगा. So EBIT into 1 minus tax, you reduce the tax, okay, directly. ठीक है? And to this figure, we will add the non-cash expense and reduce the non-cash income. So in this case, cash flow after tax is EBIT 1 minus tax. See, what are we doing? We are not reducing the interest. हम EBIT से ही डायरेक्टली टैक्स निकाल रहे हैं एंड कैलकुलेटिंग द प्रॉफिट. ओके, प्लस नॉन कैश एक्सपेंस माइनस नॉन कैश इनकम. ठीक है. Now what if we have to calculate the cash flow after tax from PAT? Let's say question में अपने को डायरेक्टली PAT दिया है, प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स दिया है, and we have to calculate cash flow after tax. In that case, ये केस में क्या करेंगे? यू स्टार्ट विथ पैट. ठीक है. सो कैश फ्लो आफ्टर टैक्स will be equal to, you start with PAT, we will have to add the interest cost. However, when you are adding the interest cost, we will add the interest cost net of tax. ओके जो इंटरेस्ट पे टैक्स का इम्पैक्ट आया है उसको निकाल देंगे. व्हाई? बिकॉज दैट जो टैक्स है वो तो आउटफ्लो है ही. ओके, so we have to remove that portion. So we will consider interest cost. However, interest cost net of the tax. Okay, so PAT plus interest cost 1 minus tax. To this, we will also add the non-cash expense. And reduce non-cash income. ठीक है? So subsequent cash flows normally will be a calculation of cash flow after tax. Now at final, okay, you will have full-fledged questions where you will have to where we will have to actually calculate the P&L. Okay, P&L दिया जाएगा, sales, expenses, COGS, other expenses. We have to actually calculate EBIT or PAT, and to that figure we have to do the adjustments. ठीक है? Okay. So ये हो गया subsequent cash flows. And last is terminal cash flows. Terminal मतलब end of project. Okay. Terminal cash flows क्या होगा? Okay, so first we'll take, so you had working capital which was an outflow in year 0. अभी working capital क्या है? Working capital is only required as long as the project is running. Let's say अगर project बंद हो गया, okay, project का life खत्म हो गया, जो working capital में पैसा था, inventory, receivables, वो release हो जाएगा. So when the project is over, okay, that is your terminal cash flow, you will have a release of working capital which becomes a cash inflow in the last year. Okay, so working capital का adjustment क्या है? Always remember, the year in which working capital is required, it is a cash outflow. And in the last year, ठीक है, terminal cash flow में we have to consider it as a inflow. So the first one is release of working capital, which is a cash inflow. फिर you can have salvage value or net realization on sale of your assets and liabilities. Let's say it's not one asset but multiple assets, so we will have to calculate a liquidation value बोल सकते हो उसको. ठीक है? So typically salvage value और liquidation value होगा. ये भी कैश इनफ्लो ही है. नेक्स्ट, इसके बाद that all we'll consider as a part of liquidation value. So we'll calculate net amount. Okay, generally you don't have cases where you have a liquidation. Normally salvage ही होता है of a particular asset or machine. Okay, however I told you whenever you have a sale of machine, okay, salvage value भी आएगा. We have to consider capital gains. Okay, we have to calculate whether there is a profit or loss on sale of the asset. Okay, if there is a profit, you will have to pay tax, which is a cash outflow. If there is a loss, you will have a tax saving. So C and D क्या हो जाएगा? C is capital gains tax paid, D will be tax saving.
सर टर्मिनेशन के वक्त वो एफडी फंड होगा ना, तो कैपिटल गेन्स का वो लॉस का बेनिफिट
In case of आएगा ना, why not? Last year, even if liquidation हो रहा है, tax return तो file करेगा ना. तो जो भी tax provisions will apply, you will have to go as per that, no? This is a cash outflow. And last is tax saving. ठीक है, तो ये हो गया तुम्हारा टर्मिनल कैश फ्लोज. Now, of course, as I told you, इसके अलावा if you have any cash inflow, cash outflow, we will have to consider. But typically, this is what you will have in any question. Okay. Done? Can we go ahead? ठीक है. चलो. One more concept we need to learn before we go to the methods, which is now what happens is that see methods अपने को वही है जो इंटरमीडिएट में मेथड्स था ना, एनपीवी, वो सब सेम ही है. Now what is going to be different is that at final, very important is going to be concept of relevant cost and non-relevant cost. Okay, so let's understand what is relevant and non-relevant cost.
तो सिर्फ मैंने पॉइंट बताया इंटरेस्ट और कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर वाला पॉइंट.
Yeah, so I said that when we are doing a project appraisal, okay, we do a project appraisal without considering what is the capital structure. जो capital structure है, जो initial investment तूने किया, ठीक है, we do not consider कि what is the capital structure, मतलब how much is debt, how much is equity. What we want to find out is the project viable or not? Okay, so what we need to do is we need to calculate the project cash flows before payment of interest. Why? Because payment of interest is what? Payment of interest is basically reward for debt. So project level before payment to, let's say, providers of debt or payment of dividend, which is to provider of equity. What is your profit? What is your project cash flow? That is what we have to calculate.
अगर प्रोजेक्ट में आया पर हम नेट कंसीडर करेंगे ना, इंटरेस्ट what will be left to us will be
as a equity. If you're, let's say, providing equity to a certain project, okay, then of course you would want to know कि मेरा return क्या है वो project पे. So that's why I said those type of cases we will do later on. Okay, but for now, at least initially to start off with, we'll take cases जहाँ पे you have a project and you have to do the calculation before payment of interest basically. So there is that concept which comes in later, which is project. So because you have asked, I'll tell you. NPV तुमने किया है, you know net present value. Now here we will do concept of project NPV and equity NPV. Project NPV मतलब project level पे what is the NPV, and equity NPV will be what? If I am providing equity, what is my NPV? So we will do that bifurcation later on. Yes.
Our interest will be purely debt interest,
yes,
not any ROC type expected return.
Actual interest cost, not notional or opportunity cost वगैरह नहीं. Okay, relevant and non-relevant cost. ठीक है, अभी what is relevant, non-relevant cost? See, any project, okay, now we have to make various types of decisions. So types of decisions क्या होता है? First you have mutually exclusive projects. Okay, mutually exclusive projects मतलब जहां पे अपने को चूज करना होता है between two alternatives, 2 or 3 alternatives. Okay, so we are given 2 or 3 alternatives. We have to select which is the best one. That is called what? That is called a mutually exclusive project. Okay, or mutually exclusive proposal, let's say. Second would be a replacement decision. Okay, so replacement decision क्या है? Replacement decision is where एक existing asset को replace करना है with a new asset is a replacement decision. So basically we have to take various types of decisions in capital budgeting. Now whenever you have to take decisions, there is the concept of relevant and non-relevant cost. ठीक है? We will discuss for now only non-relevant cost. Why? Because non-relevant discuss करेंगे, all others are relevant. Okay, so non-relevant cost के example क्या है? Let's discuss, then we'll write down. The first is sunk cost. Sunk cost मतलब क्या? A cost that has already happened. So let's say we have to decide between project A and project B. Okay, so अपने को select करना है कि project A better है या project B better है. Let's say you have done a market study or a market survey, जिसके लिए आपने spend किया 20,000 rupees. Now 20,000 rupees, okay, we have to think, is it relevant for our decision? Answer is no. Why? Because it is a sunk cost. क्यों? क्योंकि you do project A or you do project B, 20,000 तो हो गया ना incur. So when you are trying to decide whether to do project A or whether to do B, this 20,000 is a non-relevant cost. It is an irrelevant cost. So we call it a sunk cost. Okay, so sunk cost क्या है? Sunk costs are all costs that are incurred in the past, ठीक है? Which will be incurred under both the alternatives, and it is not relevant to the decision that we are trying to make. ठीक है? So first है sunk cost. Second non-relevant cost is committed cost. Committed cost मतलब in the future, okay, you have committed to make this expenditure under both the alternatives. Again, project A है, project B है, okay. We have committed that under both the projects you are going to have an expenditure of 50,000. Now this is not relevant to the decision. Why? Because whether you do project A or you do B, you are going to incur the 50,000. So difference क्या है? Sunk cost is normally in the past, committed cost is in the future. You have committed to incur it irrespective of the alternative that you are actually going to do. ठीक है? And the third, which again is very important, is allocated overheads. Now what are allocated overheads? You have done absorption costing, ठीक है? So तुमको ये मालूम है कि जो fixed cost है, fixed overheads है, normally it will remain same. Now we have to be very, very careful when we deal with fixed cost. Why? Even in capital budgeting. Why? Because if fixed cost is going to remain same, there are two, let's say there is a replacement decision. Okay, आप existing asset को replace कर रहे हो with a new asset, or you are replacing a existing department with a new department, or existing factory with a new factory. What we need to consider is fixed cost going to remain same? If fixed cost is going to remain same, it is non-relevant. It is not relevant because change ही नहीं हो रहा है. Whether you do this or that, it is going to remain the same. Now what happens is that we know absorption costing. जहां पे हम क्या करते हैं? फिक्स कॉस्ट को यूनिट लेवल पे लाते हैं. फिक्स कॉस्ट को डिवाइड करते हैं बाय सर्टेन मेट्रिक. दैट मेट्रिक कैन वेरी. It could be based on output, input, it could be based on anything practically. Okay, so because of that we bring it per unit. Now what happens is that when you are changing the department, when you are changing the asset, whatever, it's possible that the allocated overheads, मतलब per unit का जो figure आता है for fixed cost, that may change because you are now using a, let's say, different metric for doing the absorption costing. पहले आप कुछ दूसरा metric कर रहे थे, अभी कुछ अलग कर रहे हो. So per unit basis you are getting a different figure for fixed cost. Okay, so we have to be very, very careful when we deal with fixed cost. The basic question that we have to ask is overall level pay, not per unit. Fixed cost we always have to look at overall level. Overall level pay, okay, is fixed cost going to change or not? If fixed cost is going to remain same, then it is not relevant. If fixed cost is going to change, matlab actually, let's say, pehle fixed cost was 1 lakh, now it is going to be 1,20,000 or 1,50,000. Now this is relevant. Why? Because actually this is called a differential cost. There is a difference, no? So differential costs are always relevant. Okay? So let's write it down. Majorly 3 non-relevant cost hota hai, okay, that we have to deal with. Now the thing is, in final, what will happen is that capital budgeting long questions, okay, 1 page, 2 page question, मतलब lot of information, basically information overload होता है question में. और information में, see, intermediate we used to assume कि everything relevant है. अगर question में कुछ दिया है, it is relevant. Now final, you have to, what you will have to do is you will have to use your brain. Okay, so final is less about concept, it is more about application. Okay, concept तुमको मालूम है. अभी NPV, before you even came, you know what is NPV. You know the concept. More important is what? Application. How do you apply? Okay, how do you decide whether it is a relevant cost or a non-relevant cost?
Some cost, computed cost, or the whole relevant to the asset side.
Normally, no.
ROI इससे ऊपर ही मिलता है. जितना भी हम लोग ने cost incur किया है, computed cost के ऊपर ROI मिलता है.
See, what you're, if you're trying to calculate a IRR, then I agree with you. But if you're trying to make a specific decision, okay, and you just want a conclusion regarding your decision, whether we should replace a certain asset or not, then for that case, it is not relevant. So let's say for NPV purposes, it is not relevant. Okay, but if, let's say if you want to calculate an actual IRR, so what is the difference? NPV is net present value. We do present value of cash inflow minus present value of cash outflow. But actual return समझ में आता है क्या NPV में? नहीं. Actual return के लिए हम क्या करते हैं? IRR. So if you want to calculate a IRR, then I agree with you. We'll have to consider. But let's say if you want to do a NPV and you want to take a decision, then it is not relevant.
ये जो sum cost है वो तो आउटो में आना चाहिए. तो लोग ये आप taken a project की इसके ऊपर आप done market visit of 1 lakh rupees. सिर्फ only on project ही आया. Project की तो मैंने अलग cost incur.
See the point is, now just imagine. Okay, try to imagine. Let's say there are, even if you have a mutually exclusive 2 projects, project A and project B. Okay, project A का NPV आता है, let's say 1 lakh. Okay, A NPV is 1 lakh. B का NPV is 2 lakh. Okay, let's say this NPV is coming without considering the sunk cost. Let's say if you consider the sunk cost is how much? 20,000 पकड़ते हैं, तो क्या हो जाता? A का NPV 80,000 आता, B का NPV कितना आता? 1,80,000. Is your decision changing? The difference between NPV is still 1 lakh. So for that reason, it is not relevant. You don't necessarily have to include it in your calculation. See, if you include, that doesn't mean that it is wrong. You might as well include it also, but you need not include it. वो भी चल जाएगा. Okay, it's not relevant. See, we will see. So specific questions, okay, sunk cost, why you should ignore. Okay, we'll see specific questions regarding that. So sometimes, see, we have to calculate incremental cash flows. It's not relevant, no? If there is no increment, then it's not relevant. You don't need to consider it. You need to consider only the incremental ones. So practically, we'll look at questions where you'll understand why it is to be ignored or why we say it is not relevant to the decision. Done? Okay. Let's start with our methods for project appraisal. ठीक है? अभी methods for project appraisal में we have two bifurcations. You either have non-discounted methods. Non-discounted methods मतलब जहां पे हम time value of money consider नहीं करते. Okay. So non-discounted methods कौन सा है? First you have accounting rate of return, ARR. Okay. ARR is the only method where we use a accounting measure, that is PAT. ठीक है? Other than that, every other method we will use concept of cash flow. So ARR है, ठीक है? Payback period है. You have payback reciprocal and payback profitability. So there are 4 methods basically that we have to do, which are non-discounted methods. So Roman 1, non-discounted methods. So ARR का फॉर्मूला है, ठीक है? फॉर just write down accounting rate of return, ARR. Methods for project appraisal, non-discounted methods, accounting rate of return. Okay, ARR formula is average PAT upon average investment into 100. Average PAT calculation is easy. Okay, जितने भी number of years दिया है उसके लिए simple average करना है PAT का, ठीक है? Profit after tax का. What about average investment? Now calculation of average investment depends on the method of depreciation that you are using. Okay, so write down calculation of average investment. One, depreciation. Depreciation method is SLM, straight line method. Okay, if depreciation method is straight line method, okay, average investment is calculated as depreciable amount. Depreciable amount matlab cost minus salvage divided by 2. Okay, so depreciable amount divided by 2. We add the non-depreciable part. So depreciable amount divided by 2 plus non-depreciable amount, which is nothing but your salvage value. Okay, so formula becomes depreciable amount upon 2 plus non-depreciable part. Yeah. Now on a question of why is the formula like this? Okay, formula ऐसा क्यों है? The reason is that we are trying to calculate average investment. Average investment मतलब क्या? See, you have a certain asset जहाँ पे depreciation होगा. Okay, so every year asset value will be depreciated. However, salvage will always remain. Okay, so जो depreciable amount है उसका हम average लेते हैं. So directly divided by 2 and we add the salvage. Okay, so this is how you calculate the average investment if method is SLM. Okay, what if the depreciation method is WDV, written down value? If depreciation method is WDV, we have to on a year by year basis. Okay, year by year basis अपने को opening और closing WDV calculate करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, मतलब opening less depreciation closing, and we take a average of the opening and closing for every year. So whenever method is WDV, we take average of opening and closing. So for every year we will get a certain average. Okay, and then last में जो average column है उसका वापस से average लेना पड़ता है. ठीक है, that's the way in which they calculate the average investment if the method of depreciation is WDV. So write down. Yeah, we'll do this immediately. Question लेंगे, so this will become clear. No, so point is that, see, if let's say just imagine, okay, you start with 1 lakh, पूरा depreciate हो गया, okay, so 0 हो गया. So when you started 1 lakh, closing is 0, so average is going to come 50,000 only. If opening is 1 lakh, closing is 0, okay, average कितना आएगा? 50,000 only, no? So whatever is your depreciable amount, you divide it by 2, you will get the average. If it is SLM, point is if it is SLM, your depreciation per annum will be same. Okay, so you can directly calculate it as, you can directly divide it by 2. You don't need to do a year by year calculation in that case. See, if you do depreciable amount divided by useful life, total life, what do you get? You get depreciation. But we are not trying to calculate depreciation, no? We are trying to calculate what? Average investment. If depreciation method is WDV, ये क्या हो रहा है? Okay, just write down. मैं dictate करता हूँ, तुम लोग लिखो. Okay, if depreciation method is WDV, we must calculate. So start करो. We must calculate opening and closing WDV for each year and calculate average of opening and closing, and calculate average of opening and closing WDV. Full stop. Finally, to calculate a single amount, we will have to again consider a simple average for the given years. ठीक है? चलो, we'll take a question. Average investment is basically in your project. Okay, how much is the average amount that you have invested? So if let's say I have invested 1 lakh rupees, okay, what I will get is depreciation over the years. So on an average basis, if I look at it, okay, they say that you have invested, if you have invested 1 lakh, let's say salvage is 0, okay, average आपने invest किया 50,000 project में. Okay, that's basically, you can look at it like see, the thing is, what are they saying? They are saying that जो cost है asset का, okay, whatever the cost of the asset, the depreciation that you are getting, okay, depreciation का benefit आपको मिलेगा P&L में. So you depreciate, and based on the depreciation you calculate the yearly figure, okay, and that is basically your average investment every year. So another way to explain it is that, let's say I start with 1 lakh, first year depreciation is 20,000. So now when I start year 2, my investment is how much? It is net 80,000. So what you are trying to do is, over 5 years, what is your average investment? First year I require 1 lakh, second year I require 80, third year I require 60, 40 and 20. So on an average basis I require 50,000 over a 5-year period. Okay, first year में 1 lakh लगता है, but let's say in the 4th year or 5th year I require less.
Average yearly 20,000.
20,000 is depreciation, no? Value of the asset, if you see, okay, year 1 you started, okay, how much money you need? 1 lakh. You take depreciation of 20,000. Correct. Yeah.
Year from year we are consuming 20,000 का value.
Correct.
So average investment 20,000.
No. See, look at it this way. Let's say there is an asset, okay, of 1 lakh. Let's say you have a 1-year-old asset. मार्केट में अगर परचेस करना है तो कितना पे करना पड़ेगा? 80,000, no? Basically, if you charge depreciation of 20, you'll have to pay how much? 80,000. So that is how it is. Year 3, let's say you take, you'll have to pay 60,000, so on and so forth. So on an average basis, how much will you have to pay for this asset over 5-year period? 50,000. Yes. Yes.
So end of the period of closing.
If you have WDV, then you cannot do that, no? If you have SLM, you can do that, which is why we divided it by 2. But if you have WDV, depreciation every year will be different. Yeah. SLM का क्या? ठीक है, we'll discuss later. Fine. Okay. We'll do question number 1. Okay, चलो let's start. Question number 1 देखो. Purchase price is given as 80. Installation charge is 20,000. Estimated salvage is 40,000. Useful life 4 years. Working capital required is 10,000. Now when you calculate the investment, जब हम average investment calculate करते हैं, okay, we looked at the formula, but also remember it is not just the capital investment, it is also the working capital investment that we have to consider. So जब हम investment देखते हैं, we also have to consider the working capital investment. Profit before depreciation and tax. So profit before depreciation and tax is going to be 65,000. Tax rate 30%. Calculate ARR if depreciation is calculated on A SLM and B WDV. Yeah, जो notes है, we will give you the notes. थोड़े changes चल रहे हैं, ठीक है? So in a few lectures we'll give you. For now you can just refer it from here. Okay, let's start. So पहले SLM करना है. Now under SLM, first we have to calculate what? Average PAT. Okay, average profit calculate करना है. If you are doing SLM, under SLM, what is going to be the depreciation per annum? Depreciation कैसे calculate करेंगे? Cost minus salvage divided by useful life. Cost of the machine is how much? 80,000, but we will also have to add the installation charges. So cost कितना consider करेंगे? 1 lakh. ठीक है? Salvage is how much? 40,000. So 1 lakh minus 40,000 is 60. 60,000 divided by useful life is 4 years. So depreciation per annum कितना आता है? 15,000. Now the thing is, if depreciation method is SLM, every year your depreciation will be same. So PBT every year will be same. Tax will be same, PAT will be same. Okay, so my point being कि if depreciation method is SLM, okay, for calculation of average PAT, we need just 2 columns, particulars and amount, because PAT जो है वो same रहेगा for all the years. Okay, चलो let's start. Let's first calculate the average PAT, then we'll go to the investment. First is depreciation is SLM. You require 2 columns, particulars and amount. We start with profit before depreciation and tax. Profit before depreciation and tax is 65,000. Less, पहले depreciation less करेंगे. Depreciation per annum we calculated, it is 15,000. ये 15,000 कैसे आया? 1 lakh का cost, salvage is 40. Divided by 4, useful life is 4, correct. ये you will get PBT, profit before tax, as 50,000. इसमें से reduce करो tax at 30%. You will get PAT. So PAT कितना आता है? 35,000 ना? Max is 15, so PAT is 35. Okay. तो ये हो गया PAT. This is only your average PAT because PAT will remain same for all the years. So average PAT is also 35,000. Okay, calculation of average investment. अभी एवरेज इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए दिस इज अ depreciation is SLM, so we can directly use the formula. Average investment will be equal to depreciable amount upon 2 plus salvage, which is non-depreciable. So depreciable amount कितना है? 60,000 we had calculated. So 60,000 divided by 2, 1 lakh minus 40,000 plus salvage is given to you as 40,000. So ये हो गया 70,000. However, in the question we were given one more thing, which is working capital. So asset में investment is 70,000. Okay, what we also need is the working capital requirement. Working capital requirement is how much? 10,000. Okay, so we add the working capital requirement. Okay, which gives us average investment as 80,000. So the one more way of looking at it is that at average investment, हम ROE कैसे calculate करते हैं? You consider profit of every year divided by equity at the start of the year. Now that equity will change every year, correct? Here what you are doing, numerator में you are taking an average. So in the denominator, what you are trying to do is that every year, okay, what is my investment in that asset? Okay, every year, what is my investment in that asset? When you start the project, it will be the total amount. Okay, next year, it will be a lower amount because you have already charged depreciation. So now on 80,000, you are able to earn this much profit, let's say. That is how they are looking at it. In the same way in which we calculate ROE, no, for every year, same way they are saying for investment also. Okay, every year तुम्हारा investment कितना है? And it is reducing. Why? Because it is a depreciable asset. If it were a non-depreciable asset like land, then we don't need to do that. Okay, because in case of land it is non-depreciable, but because it is a depreciable asset, you consider the depreciation and you calculate at the start of every year what is the net investment required. That is what you are basically doing. Okay. हाँ, 35,000. हाँ, so 15,000, no? Okay. तो ARR कितना आएगा? ARR will be 35,000 upon 80,000 into 100. So this is how much? 43.75.
So 10,000 working capital का add किया.
Because that is also a cash outflow, no? That is also investment basically. Okay, and why we have not taken an average of that, next question, is because 10,000 is going to be needed every year. So when you start with 10,000, it is going to be required every year. So average of 10,000 every year is 10,000 only. So you do it this way. Okay, why? Because वो फिर easy हो जाता है. You calculate it based on the calculation. You just add whatever is the working capital requirement in the end.
तो calculation आप ऊपर लिख दिखाना पड़ेगा कि add होगा.
No, you don't need to do that. ऐसे करोगे तो भी चलेगा. Because see the point is that ये जो calculation है, ये वो लोग ऐसे ही लिखते हैं average investment को, और फिर end में working capital को add करते हैं. Okay, next is based on WDV. So second, depreciation is on WDV basis. Okay, now when depreciation is on WDV basis, firstly average PAT calculate करना पड़ेगा. Now depreciation is going to be different every year. Okay, because you have to calculate 20% on directly on your opening balance. Okay, so depreciation every year अलग होगा. So तुम्हारा PBT every year अलग होगा, PAT भी अलग होगा. So we need to make a full table. Okay, so particulars and 5 columns, and 4 columns, na? Total 4 years. So total 5 columns. We start with profit before depreciation and tax. नहीं, क्या कैलकुलेट कर रहे हो? Average profit, no? Profit is on yearly basis. Profit cannot be on year 0, no? Before you start, profit कैसे होगा? This is how much? 65,000 every year. Sorry, 4 years. Less depreciation. Okay, अभी depreciation कैसे calculate करना है? WDV. So on 1 lakh, directly we will take 20%. Okay, so for year 1 lakh पे 20% will be 20,000. No, WDV we take directly on here. We calculate a rate. So WDV method, okay, we calculate the rate considering your salvage, and you use the rate to depreciate. See, the thing in WDV method is that your जो depreciation है, okay, it can never be 0, no? Okay, so depreciation method, you go and check Companies Act, check करोगे. WDV हम कैसे calculate करते हैं? We calculate the rate, and whatever the rate is, you directly apply on your cost. Okay, so जो salvage है, that we consider normally for SLM. So SLM, whenever you do cost minus salvage divided by useful life. Okay, and yes, now Companies Act, जो नया Companies Act है, वो वही method ही बोलता है that you have to follow useful life method only. So technically, currently, if you go out practically, you have to use useful life method only. But WDV, when you do, okay, previously when it was done, the way it was thought of was that the rate itself, okay, the way it is calculated, it will cover that. So we do not consider the salvage. So directly on whatever the years you charge the rate. You think about it like your block of assets method. You directly charge the rate. So 20,000 first year, second year के लिए कितना होगा? 80,000 पे 20%, 16. So easier way to calculate is every year 20% से कम करो. 16,000 less 20% on your calculator will give you 12,800, and then 10,000. And see, technically, actually, if you look at it, okay, थोड़ा और डेप्थ में जाओगे, ये जो हम कैलकुलेशन कर रहे हैं डेप्रिसिएशन का, वो टैक्स पर्पस के लिए कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज एंड ऑफ द डे डेप्रिसिएशन तो वी आर गोइंग टू ऐड बैक. So why you're considering depreciation is only for tax purpose. Now, if you go by tax laws also, okay, how do you calculate depreciation? Is direct block. You put a percentage on the block, whatever the percentage there as per Income Tax Act. So PBT. No, of course not. थर्ड ईयर का कितना होता है? 50 और ये 50%. Okay, less tax. Tax is at 30%. You will get PAT. PAT बताओ डायरेक्टली. फर्स्ट केस 31 या 32,500 होगा ना? 31,500. फिर
डेप्रिसिएशन के बाद हम लोग ने सैलरी वाले वो नहीं किया क्योंकि हम लोग को वो अमाउंट हम जीरो नहीं हो सकता इसीलिए. बट वो फिर ऐड के अंदर वो सैलरी वाली
क्यों? पीएनएल में कभी आता है सैल्वेज? थिंक ऑफ योर अकाउंट्स. पीएनएल में कभी आता है क्या? नो नो. एसएलएम में किया. ओके, पैट आया 4 years. नेक्स्ट वी कैलकुलेट एवरेज पैट. ओके, सिर्फ सिंपल एवरेज लो. Just add divided by 4. $30,168. ओके, ठीक है, चलो. सो एवरेज पैट आया 35,168. नाउ वी गो टू एवरेज इन्वेस्टमेंट. अभी एवरेज इन्वेस्टमेंट डेप्रिसिएशन मेथड इज WDV. सो हाउ डू वी कैलकुलेट? यू हैव टू डू इट फॉर एवरी ईयर opening, closing and average. Okay, so table बनाना पड़ेगा. Write down calculation of average investment. Prepare a table, particulars and 4 columns, so total 5 columns. Okay, opening, we reduce depreciation. We get closing. And then you take an average. Okay, opening is 1 lakh. First year depreciation 20,000. So closing is 80. Average of opening and closing. So 1 lakh plus 80,000 divided by 2 is 90,000. Year 2, opening is 80. So first year ka closing, वो second year ka opening. Second year ka depreciation we had calculated 16,000. So closing is 64. This is 72. Okay. Ye 64. This is 12,800. So closing is how much? 51,200. Okay. 57,600. Okay. ये depreciation कितना है इधर? 49? 40,960. Average? 46,080. Okay. Now we have average for 4 years, but we require only one figure. ठीक है, क्यों? क्योंकि एवरेज पैट एक फिगर है, एवरेज इन्वेस्टमेंट का भी एक फिगर लगेगा. सो वी हैव टू टेक अ एवरेज ऑफ these 4 values. So average investment, okay, you can write down is equal to, ये 4 figures का एवरेज लो, कितना आता है? 66420. And of course we have to add what? Working capital. Working capital is 10,000. So you have 76,420. Yeah, check करो. Getting this? ठीक है, तो ARR आ जाएगा. ARR will be equal to 35,168 divided by 76,420. So this is how much? 36.02. Okay, so this is your ARR, accounting rate of return. Now few things about ARR before you go. Firstly, it is a non-discounted method. It's the only measure where we consider the accounting profit. Okay. Also practically no one calculates accounting rate of return. Okay. Why? Because you have better methods in terms of NPV and IRR. So NPV IRR सब लोग calculate करते हैं. Accounting rate of return, it's there in your syllabus. So theoretically we have to learn it. Okay, but practically it's never really done. ठीक है? चलो, we'll stop here. We'll continue next time. So next time और एक question है ARR पे, वो करेंगे, and then we'll go to the other methods. चलो, bye. See you. Have a great day.